Yes, please ask your friends to join the session soon. We will still wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Yes, good morning everyone. The syllabus of mid-semester is same as before, Unit 1, 2 and 3. The syllabus of mid-semester is same, Unit 1, 2 and 3. There is no changes in that.
Hello, madam.
Yes, Pima.
Is there PPT note, madam? You need one and two.
Huh?
Is there PPT note, madam? Note.
Yes, yes, I have emailed you, no? I've emailed
Oh,
everyone in the, yeah, in the previous semester, before the mid-semester started, no? Mid-semester 1.
yeah, madam.
Right, I've emailed you the PPTs. Please check your email once.
Okay, madam.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sorry, ma'am.
If you have not received, let me know. I will send it to you again.
Yeah, I have already received, madam.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, no problem. Yes, sir. Is anybody having any questions in the classes regarding input stream, output stream, reader and writer that we have seen so far? Okay, okay, good. Okay. Then today I wanted to begin a new unit. That is your collection and generics. Is my screen visible? Okay, okay. So, collection. Usually, we define collection as unit gathering of something, right? Group of something is known as collection, right? We know that collection of, you may have collection of books, you may have collection of cars, and there's nothing but an collection, right? And in the same way, you can also create collections in Java. Collections can be created for objects for different types of primitive and non-primitive data types. But when I say collection of non-primitive, such as integer, character, byte, boolean, all these data types, the first thing that comes in our mind is array always, because we have seen that we can create the array of every single primitive and non-primitive data types, and it is nothing but the collection. of that, elements, individual elements, right? That is nothing but an array. Then what is the need of collection, or why do we need, what is collection actually in Java? In English terms, collection is nothing but a group of something, group of objects, group of anything that you have in real life. Something, a collection of that is group of anything that you consider. In Java, we have collection as an interface in Java, and we also have collections as one class in Java. So please don't mistake collection with collections. Collection is nothing but interface in Java which supports creation of multiple, or you can say group of elements. Okay, and whenever we hear group of elements, we always think of array. That is okay, you can keep that in your mind. But we also have collection interface which supports group of elements or group of objects or group of primitive or non-primitive data types in which we do not specify the size of that collection. Whereas whenever we talk about array, we always specify the size first and then we create the array. If you want to create the array of marks, you will always have to specify that I want to create the marks array for 10 students. Or if you want to create the array of usernames, you have to specify that I want to create the username. I want to have my software used by 1,000 people, so I may create 1,000 usernames. But it is not always the case that you always want to predefined or fixed date on the size of the array. Like when the number of users increase, your array should grow dynamically, which is not possible in array. That is the reason we use collections. Collections allow your collection to grow and shrink as per your requirement. If you want to add new users, you can add new values into your collection. If your user want to delete its account, then user wants to retrieve that account, or user don't want to use your, say for example, we're talking about Facebook itself. Facebook has millions of users. Then every single time it is not going to create the array. It is going to use collection over there for storing username, for storing passwords, for storing their data, because users are growing day by day. So they are using collections in the backend. And why do we use collection? Because you want your group or that collection to increase indefinitely. You don't want to restrict the size. That is the reason we use collection. And when should we use array? Whenever you want to restrict something, like in this semester, I want this student to study only 5 subjects. They shouldn't be burdened up with more number of subjects. So I am creating the array for subjects that is 5 only. And I am also restricting the number of students in my class. There should be only 60 people in my class so that I can pay more attention to every one of them. So I'm restricting the class number to 60. That are the applications of array. And wherever you want to create unlimited, users, you want to create unlimited of anything, we always use collections. And collection itself is an interface in Java. So we already know that whenever you are, creating interface, you can also create the reference variable of interface. But you cannot create the object of interface. That is the first thing to remember. We always create the reference variable of interface, and if you remember it from your previous, examples of interface, for whatever class who is implementing this interface, you can create the reference of interface, and you can make it point to that class. This example we have seen in your shape question in your lab manual, that you are creating the reference of your shape interface and you are creating the object of triangle class. Or you are creating with the same reference itself. You are creating the object of square class. You are creating the object of whatever rectangle class. Okay. So in this way, you can create the object of as many number of classes as you want, but the reference variable of shape is always one. Interface cannot be instantiated. Just like abstract class, interface cannot be instantiated. But however, you can create the reference for sure. In the same way, you can create reference of your collection interface. But then we need the implementation of this interface, right? Some class should come and implement this interface so that we can access its properties. Then which classes are implementing this collection interface? The collection interface is getting implemented in three different ways. Initially, it is getting extended in three different interfaces itself. You know, interface and interface, they extend itself. This we have also seen. Interface and interface, you can extend interface I1 and you can only implement class in interface. So when you want to use multiple interface, you can use extends keyword. I can extend I1 over here. I can now whenever I implement I2 in my class, this class is going to have the property of I2 and I1 both because I am already extending I1 in I2. So in the same way, interface extends in the same way. Your collection is extended in list, in queue, and in set. So these are again the interfaces which some classes are going to implement. Okay. So say for example, if I say that we have a vector class over here, or we have a stack class over here, or in this queue interface, we have a priority queue class over here. Okay, priority queue class over here. Then all these classes that I'm talking about for now, they stack, this vector, there is one more class known as array list. Okay, all these classes are acquiring the property of list interface, which is extended by collection interface. So in this hierarchy, your classes, these classes are having the property of collection interface, list interface, and it is in inheritance. So array list is nothing but a type of collection. Stack is nothing but a type of collection. And vector is nothing but a type of collection. Because they're also a type of list, of course, but they're also a type of collection because it is implemented over here. And when I say that interfaces reference can be created, then you can point this reference to which classes? These classes, yeah, you can create the object of these classes. Why? Because they are implementing collection. So you can create the object of these classes and you can use collections property in that sense. Is so far things getting clear in your mind what we are doing here? What is the use of collection? Collections both are different things. Use of collection, yes. Then this hierarchy, it is an interface. So it is again extended in three more interfaces because of the implementation, because of the use. They have categorized into different classes and interfaces. In set, you have hash set. Then you also have map over there. Map is there, here itself in set itself. You can even have map. You have hash map. You have hash tree. Each are having the different applications. We are going to see each of these classes, but I'm simply listing out the classes so that you can keep the picture clear in your mind. What is the use of collection? You can create indefinite items in this. You will not be able to restrict the size over here. You can add and remove the elements. The size is going to grow and shrink as per your need. That we are overcoming the disadvantage of array over here by using collection. Are these things getting clear in your mind? Yes or no? Are you with me? Okay. Okay, yes, good. What about others? Only two are answering. What about others? Okay, yes, good. Pala, are you awake? Yes, good. Yes. Okay, then we can move forward. Now, for creating the collections reference, as I told you, collection is an interface. You cannot create the object of collection, so we can create the interface of collection. Okay, so whenever I want to create the interface of collection, what we will do, we'll simply create the collection interface in the sense we are simply creating the collection interface. We create the arrays like this. Say for example, I'm creating the marks array. We create the array like this where you're specifying the size. I don't wish to specify the size anymore. Before I come to collections, I also want to tell you one more thing. If I'm having that example, I'll show it to you. No, I'm not having that example. If you remember, I'm rewinding back, I'm recapping it back, I'm taking you back to the thread class. Please understand what I'm telling you. If you remember your wait and notify method, and if you remember your sleep method, okay, just keep this in pocket for a while. These things, keep it in your pocket. I'm opening one more thread, one more, things, one more topic over here. If you remember, we called these methods of thread either by using the object of thread class or by using the static function like class name dot function name. But only these two specialized function, wait and notify, but didn't use the object, but didn't called like thread dot sleep, thread dot wait, or t1 dot wait. The reason is that now you have to keep your eyes and ears very much wide open. All the classes in Java, whether you are creating or whether they are by defaultly given to you in library, all the classes in Java are subclasses of the cosmic superclass or the grandparent superclass, or the actual starting point of hierarchy is object. The class name is object. Object is, in other terms, we call it as cosmic superclass. Cosmic superclass in the sense, there is none of the class above this class in Java's hierarchy. And even if when you are creating your own class, whenever you are creating your own class, be it simple, your class, it is always extending object class. It is by default. Whether you mention it or you don't mention it, all the classes are subclasses of class object. And it is the superclass of all the classes. The reason why you are able to use this wait and notify without even using thread or t1's object is these methods are not of object class. These methods are not of thread class, but they are the functions of object class. These are notify. It is not showing another thing because I need to use thread over here. Once I would extend thread, I'll be able to, let me see if I can correct it. Okay. Because you cannot use notify without wait, let me start with wait. If it is possible, I'll show it to you. Because, no. Okay, fine. Because I've extended over here. It is okay, but this notify and wait, they are not belonging to any class. So you are able to use it without, using wait and notify, without using thread class, because they are not the method of thread class. They are the method of object class. And object is the super class of all the classes. Why I am telling you this here is that whenever you are creating the object of any class, or whenever you are creating the array like this, you can also create the array of object class like this. I can also create the array of object class like this object. And I can mention here the size and what this object can take. This object is able to store any of the values. See, let me show it to you. Why we are using object class? Why I need to show this to you today? Because whenever I am creating the class of object, I am able to store any of the value in this array. See, I am storing 10 over here. It is allowing me. Then I am storing string over here. It is allowing me. Then I am storing floating point over here. See, it is allowing me. I am storing Boolean, some true or false here. Maybe some double value here. It is allowing me. See, maybe some long value over here. Why it is allowing me? Because your object is the super class of all the primitive, non-primitive data types. Along with that, object is the super class of any class that you create in Java. It is the first class in the hierarchy of JDK. Now you are able to store any type of data in your array. It is good for you. You can store hybrid combinations like this. If you are creating string array, you are capable of storing only strings. Only integers and only integer values can be stored. But with the help of object array, you can store any data type in any which way you want. It is a good thing. Another thing I want to tell you, again, limitation of this is, again, you are creating array only. No, after all, it is an array only. So, and one more thing, before I proceed forward, one more thing. Can you store objects, your classes object? Can you store your classes object in your object array? Let us see this. OB is nothing but an object. I am trying to store OB inside it. Yes, you can store C. We can even store your customized, your created user-defined classes object in this array. It means you can store any of the object in this array. You can store, this is nothing but non-primitive. It is an object, non-primitive C, right? These are primitive data types, okay. But you can even store non-primitive data type in your objects. Means if it is a simple object, no. If it is a simple object OB, then you can store your, if it is OB1, then you can store your OB inside OB1. That is what I'm trying to convey. It is the super class of all the class. You can store any type of value inside this class, primitive or non-primitive. Now coming to this point, again it is an array only, no. You are restricting your size over here. Even though when you are capable of storing hybrid combination of values, but still you have to restrict the size over here. That is where our collections come in picture. Collections don't require size. Then how do we create collections if they don't require size? And what all values collections can store? So if I create the object of class collection, object is not possible. So I'm creating a reference of class collection. And as it is the interface to which class, I can make this interface point to, I can make this interface point to these classes. If I want to incorporate list type of data structure over here, where I am using list in the sense I am listing out the values here, then I can use here array list as implementation, I can use here stack as implementation, or I can use even vector as implementation. In the first case, I am simply creating the object of type array list over here. I am showing you the example of array list first. So I am creating the object of array list over here. Okay, it is good for me. I am creating the object. So it is a reference pointing to the object of array list. If you want to store the values inside this array list now, then what all methods you can use? See, we are never using the symbol array over here because it is used for denoting the array. So we don't require these symbols in collection. Okay, we can simply create reference of collection like this, first thing. Second thing, the function for adding the element is add. The function for removing the element is remove. Simple. We have two functions, add and remove, to add the element to your collection and to remove the element from your collection. Obviously, removing will require some mechanism, no? That from which index you want to remove the element, right? Whether you want to remove the first element or the last element or the element named as, location 4 or position and index 4, that you can give it in the bracket. That we are going to see later on, but you can remove the elements by using remove and you can add the elements by using add. What element I want to add here? Okay, let me think. I want to add some integer over here. I also want to add some floating point over here. I also want to add some string over here with whatever name you want to put. Yes, you can add. As your collection, you are not specifying here. You are not restricting that this collection should be only taking the values of data type integer. So when you are not specifying or when you are not limiting your collection, you can store any type of data you want. You can even store Boolean. You can even store floating point value, double, long value, whatever value you want to store, you can store. Because you are not restricting your collection for now. That is the reason you can store any type of data because it is going to inherit your object class itself. Superclass object is always inherited in your collection. That is okay, you can store any type of value. But if I want to Okay, we'll come to that one later on. If I want to store only integer, what we can do, that one will come to that one later on. But you can store any type of data type over here. Now, once you have stored the value, you want to print all these values. If you want to print all these values, you will need some iterator. Because it is not an array, it cannot be iterated with using your simple loop control variable I. You will need some iterator to iterate or to parse these values from. And to use the iterator, for every collection that you create, collection is the interface which is extended. Again, I'm inheriting one more thing here. All the collection, this collection interface itself is extended from the interface iterable. Interface iterable, interface collection, interface list, queue stack, and these are all the classes. Keep the classification clear in your mind. These are classes, these all are interfaces. When I am saying that your iterable interface is extended in collection interface, I can make this collection iterate by using the object of class iterator. And iterator is the subclass of iterator. Yes, is the spelling correct? E-I-T-E. Okay. Iterator is the subclass of super interface iterable. Whenever I want to iterate my collection, I am going to use iterator, which is again the subclass or subclass of this iterable interface. So now, if I want to iterate this interface, or if I want to parse or traverse this interface, I am going to create the reference of your iterator. Say, for example, I am naming the reference as I itself because it is easy for us to understand integer, right? When it comes to for loop and everything. And what thing I want to iterate? Well, I want to iterate this collection for now. Okay, let me use reference dot. I am creating the iterator of this reference. Whenever you are calling the function iterator, it is going to return the iterator object of this reference collection so that you can iterate it using variable I itself now. And how to iterate this using I? You just need to use loop over here, right? Now, first of all, is so far things getting clear in your mind what we are doing here? We are simply adding the values in the collection. Is so far things getting clear in your mind? What is collection? Where do we use it? How to create collection? What collection should implement? Or which classes are implementing collection? We are searching for the implementation here. See, I can search, I can enable array list as implementation. We are going to see this of course. I can even add stack as implementation. I can even add vector as implementation. Just for now, I am enabling or I am using array list as implementation over here, right? And I'm adding the values to your array list. And now once the values are added, I want to print them or I want to iterate them. And for that, we are using iterator. Is so far things getting clear in your mind? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, fine. Then I'll show you how to iterate through this collection. You are creating the object of this iterator class I. Now, till your iterator is having the elements, you want to print the element. So iterator is going to, just remember these words very carefully. Iterator will always traverse or parse your collection in forward fashion, never in backward fashion. Okay, just like your for loop, you can even run your loop in decrement. If you wish, you can run your loop in decrement and you can traverse your array in the reverse fashion. But that iteration is not possible by using iterator. Iterator will always traverse your collection in forward fashion, in sequential forward fashion, never in reverse fashion. First thing. So if I want to go, why it is doing like that? Because it is having the methods like has next. Has next meaning till you have the next element in your collection. So I can loop this thing up. No, I can just put a while loop over here. Okay, till your reference collection. ref. Till your this collection is having next to next elements. No, just extract the next element out of it, and once you have done extracting, just try to print that element. So I can simply print using i.next. I.next is going to extract the next elements from your iterator till you have reached the end of the collection. So till you are having next elements, now you can just iterate and you can print those elements, or you can even extract and do your manipulation or whatever you want to do, that is okay. But the iterator is used for iterating through your collection. You cannot use I as index because there are no brackets over here. Collection will never have brackets. So you cannot parse index over here. If you cannot pass index, you cannot extract index, and hence you cannot work with your for loop in that sense. But again, you can use, this is one way of iterating, okay? The first way of iterating is this, okay? Second way of iterating, you can even iterate with the second way. The second way of iterating is you can use enhanced for loop. Enhanced for loop can be used for iterating all this complete elements, for iterating the complete collection. Now, as I said, your object class can, you have to be very careful from this point onwards, for this method, as your object class can encapsulate, or object class is the superclass of all these values, right? So whenever I am creating the enhanced for loop, I can create the variable of type object. So I'm creating the variable of type object. I need to search for I. I need to parse this reference collection with the help of I. So I in reference, it is read like that. I in reference. What is this I, and why I have kept it as object? If I keep it as integer, no, then it is only capable of extracting integer values out of it. No. Your reference collection contains not only integers, strings, decimal numbers, long, boolean, everything. So I want this variable of type object because your reference collection can contain any kind of value. So for object I in your collection reference, I simply want to print I. I am simply printing I here because I simply want to print your collection with respect to I. So for what this loop will work like in backend, this loop is going to start your I with the first position of your reference collection, and it is going to run till the end of the collection, okay? And it is going to store these values in variable I, because I is a variable of type object. It is capable of storing string. You know, you have seen this in the previous example. It can store string, it can store floating point, double object itself, it can store any type of value. So your values can be extracted or retrieved in this I, and you are simply printing your I. That also can be done. So you can use your enhanced for loop also for printing the collection, or you can even use your iterator for traversing or iterating through the collection. But both of them collections can only be iterated or traversed in the forward fashion. You cannot traverse them in backward fashion. That is one thing about collection. Okay. Is so far things getting clear in your mind? Yes. What we are doing is, are these things getting clear in your mind? How to iterate using both the ways? Okay. Then, if I want to show this to you programmatically, yes. If I want to show this to you programmatically, I am creating the collection. Now let us see the implementation of collection. I am creating the collection reference, the same collection I am using here, and I cannot create the reference. It is just a reference of collection. I cannot create the object of this collection because it is an interface, and I need to import them. And they all are belonging to util package. Collection interface, all the classes, you know, this hierarchy, it is belonging to the util package. So I need to use utility over here. I have imported util. I can use star over here because I don't want to import every single class. Okay, that is good for me. and I am creating the object of array list. Array list, I am creating the object of array list. I am creating the reference of collection pointing to array list. If I want to add the elements, now all the functions I can get. See, add. Do you want to add single? See, this is object itself. See, why it is object? Because you can add string, integer, double, floating point, boolean, anything you can add. So the parameter is of type object because you are capable of adding any type of object, any type of variable, primitive, non-primitive in your collection. Currently, I am adding first integer. Then maybe later on, I want to add some double value also. Maybe I also want to add some string here. Maybe I also want to add, some long value here. It is possible for me to add any type of value here. Once your values are done adding, you can iterate them by using iterator. So I am creating the object of interface iterator. I am creating the reference I. And what I want to iterate, I want to iterate the reference collection that I've created. It is returning iterator. See, the return iterator is stored in the reference I. So I am iterating my current collection, iterator interface, iterator method. Okay. This iterator method is going to return the iterator object which is stored in your I. And now I is capable of iterating through your collection. How do I want to iterate? Till what point I want to iterate? Till your I is having next element. Till it is having next element, I want to iterate and I simply want to print which elements I want to print next. I want to print next elements because whatever elements that I have in this iteration, I simply want to print. And if I run the program, it is going to access and print all the iterated elements using the iterator. And if I don't want to use iterator, okay, you can even use your enhanced for loop that I have shown you. You can just create the variable of type object. Why I am creating variable of type object? Because there are different kinds of values and they all are belonging to the superclass object. Okay, so I'm creating for object type of I in. Where are you searching it? What do you want to traverse? Well, I want to traverse my collection right now. Okay, and then what do you want to do after traversing it? I simply want to print that variable's value. Okay, so it is going to be enhanced for loop. If you simply run, it is going to print again all the values using this enhanced for loop. So in whichever way you want to iterate, you can create the iterator or you can create the enhanced for loop. You can access and print the elements of this collection. Currently, I am not restricting it to any kind of data type, but I can restrict it to any type of data type by using generics. That point I am trying to convey next, but is so far anybody having any questions in this example? Just see this example and let me know. If you are having any simplest question, then also please let me know. Collections are good topic because they are implementable. You are going to use collection in your industry. Whenever you are working on Java, you can create collections based on your requirement. You can create your customized collections also, and they will be used mostly in industry because you are creating. You can see the implementation here itself, right? You can create any number of username over here. Those kind of applications are useful. So just see if you are having any queries and let me know. It is an advanced concept. It is not a core concept. Core concepts are done now. You are looking for implementations now. So threading was implementation. Your file handling was implementation. Collection is implementation. Next April will be implementation of what we have learned so far. Basics of Java are done since long. We are going with implementation now. Where you can use these concepts. That is what we are looking at right now. Just look at this program. If you are having any questions, let me know. Yes, yes, Vritti. No, we are not done with the session. Once we are done with the session, I'll explain you here itself in the program. Please don't worry. Okay, so far, is anybody having any questions? Okay, fine. Then this is collection, okay. The topic is collection and generics. Then what is generics? Generics is when you want to become specific to a certain thing. When you want to create collection of a certain data type, you are restricting your collection. Here you can store any kind of data type, that is okay. But if you want to restrict your collection and you want to store only, say for example, integer data types, only int data types you can store in the collection, only that kind of collections you want to make, then you can restrict your collection by providing generics over here. How do we give generics? By using angular brackets or less than and greater than brackets in pair. And I want to restrict my collection to int. Can I supply here primitive data type? No. You can supply here wrapper class. I want to restrict my collection to the wrapper class integer, and this block becomes generic. Generics are given in angular brackets or less than and greater than brackets. And what do we supply in generics? The wrapper class for which you want to create the collection. So, and why they have used only angular brackets over here? Why not any other bracket? Because all the brackets are used. See, it is a very simple explanation. This is an interview question and the explanation is very simple. Why they have used angular brackets over here? Why not other brackets? Because these brackets are used for loop, for gain parameters to functions, for terminating your function header like this. They are used for conditional statements like if. These are used for array. And these are used for specifying the block or the scope of that function or method you are using. What is left now? You can use this kind of brackets. That is the reason they have used angular brackets. And they asked this question in one of the interviews, and the person was not able to answer because it didn't know. But actually, you see here, they have used all the kind of brackets. There are no more paired brackets left. So in generics, they have introduced these brackets. And when did generics got introduced? From JDK 5 onwards. From your JDK 5 onwards, generics was introduced. Collection was there since JDK 1. Collection was there since JDK 1. But this generics, or being more precise or being more specific to the data type, this generics has been introduced after JDK 5. One more thing I want to show it to you. Whenever you are till JDK 7, this change was there. What change I am showing you? What was there till JDK 7 that I am showing you? Till JDK 7, you also need to supply your integer bracket over here. You also need to specify your generics over here. But currently it is redundant. See, it is showing you. It is redundant because this was the case till JDK 7. You need to specify your angular bracket here also and here also. But it is redundant since JDK 7. Since JDK 7, they have made this thing optional. You can not specify anything here, or you can completely remove this bracket also. Just see the changes I am doing here. Till JDK 7, you need to specifically mention that this generic is of type integer only. You cannot store string over here. This was there till JDK 7. After JDK 7, they already knew it is redundant. Why? Because the collection is made of integer only. No. So you can store integer only. No need to repeat that again. They identified this problem and then they removed this thing. You can remove integer out of it also. Also, you can remove this diamond bracket also. There is no point of creating diamond bracket again because you are already creating diamond brackets here. It is okay. These changes were reflected after JDK 7, not before that. So now it is not showing error because I am using JDK 8 onwards. So it is not showing any error. First thing. Second thing, as your collection is meant for storing integers only, now you are restricting your collection. So these values cannot be stored. Because it is of type integer, you cannot store double, long, or string. I am only capable of storing any type of integer you want. See, whenever you are using add function, it is now showing you only integer. Initially, it was showing you object, now only integer. I can add whatever integers I want to add here, it is okay. Reference.add, I am adding 5, whatever integers I want to add, I can add over here. One small change we can also do in this enhanced for loop. If your I is now only integer, you don't need to write here object. You can simply write here primitive integer because they are integer values only, no. And see, hear my words very carefully. This property or writing this integer is possible because of boxing and unboxing of your superclass wrapper class integer. If you remember, we have discussed this boxing and unboxing of primitive and non-primitive in your wrapper class concept. Why you are capable of writing integer over here, even though you are writing your data type as a class type integer, it is a wrapper class, no. Still, you are capable of writing integer here. Why? Because this is nothing but unboxing of this data type. And it already knows that these are integer values only. So I can unbox this class and create a small variable, store them into a small variable integer. It is okay for me because you're unboxing it. Unboxing is a facility applicable only when you are using wrapper class over here. Wrapper class can be used here also, it can be used here also. But if you want, you can unbox and use primitive data type I. The value is going to be same, no change in the output. It is going to print all the integer values over here. Right? It is the property of wrapper class wherein you can unbox your bigger data type to smaller data type like primitive ones. Right? Is so far anybody having any questions in collection? So far, is anybody having any questions? This integer that I've restricted to, why do they use this bracket? This was an interview question, very simple but interview question. See, why they are using this bracket? It is not compulsory to write brackets here from now. From JDK 7 onwards, it is okay. You can remove the diamond brackets. You can even remove the wrapper class repetition over here. It is redundant over here. You can remove it. And you can add only integers now. Is anybody having any questions so far? Till now, collections is clear in your mind. Why do we use it? How do we create collections reference? Make it point to any of the subclasses. And you can add, use add. We haven't seen remove. We haven't seen adding at a specific position. Those things we are going to see it in the next session. But so far, is everything clear in your mind? Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Then you are done for the day. I'll help you out with that problem. Okay, please, everybody, whoever is solving assignment number 4 and having problems in creating randomized string, I'm helping you. I'm helping you over here. Whenever you want to create randomized string, the question I specifically kept over there because random characters you can definitely generate. It is easy for you to generate random characters by using, this random, mat.random, right? Mat.random, and you can put here 25. So from 65 to 25 characters, 65 to 65 plus 25 characters, this will generate. Okay, and it is integer, no? So you can simply convert this to integer first, and then you can convert this to char. Right? You can typecast it like this. It is okay. You can generate random characters like this, right? This you all have done in your lab manual also. There was a question regarding generating randomized character. You have done that. It is easy for you to generate random characters, but generating random strings, as your string is combination of characters only. Your string is combination of characters only. If I am giving you the input here that if I want to generate random strings of length 3, of length 3 only, of length 3 in the sense you can loop this thing up. You can create a loop here. You can make this loop run for 3 times. Okay. You can make this loop run for 3 times, and whatever is the output, whatever is the character output, just create an empty string initially and concatenate your character with your string. Whenever you are concatenating your character with your string, if you are running this loop 3 times, no, then at the end of this loop, you will get one randomized string which is S, and its length will be 3, right? Because you are generating 3 characters and you are appending these characters in the string. You are just using concatenation plus to append the characters, and at the end of this loop, you will get S as a 3. The length of this string will be 3. Now, you have to do this not for once. You are doing this for once for one element. No. You need to do it for whatever is the size of the array. So if you want to repeat this stuff again and again loop it up here. Create one more loop on the top of it. Okay. And run this loop till whatever is the length of the array that user wants the array to be of whatever size. No. Run this loop for that much number of times and keep on generating different strings. Now, where do we store this? Because after all, you need to sort the array also, no? So where do we put this array? Where do we store this? Create your array. Create your string array of your, whatever is your length. If the length is 10, no. Create the array of a size 10 and shift your string in this array. If I am working for a 0th iteration, no. First time when I am working for the 0th iteration, no. I am storing it in a 0th position. After your string is getting generated, you are storing your S at 0th position. Again, J increments, J becomes 1. Now you are working for the second element of this array. Okay. Generate a new string again. Store it in your first position. Again, run the loop. Are you getting the concept now what you need to do here? In this question. Generating randomized string. Are you getting that concept now? Yes. Then it is good. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. It is very much easy. You can generate it like this. If you want, you can take a screenshot. And you are done for the session. I will take the attendance and then you all can leave. Yes, Ayush.
Present, ma'am.
Rohan. Bipin. Manav. Anuj.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Riddhi. Riddhi. Yashraj. Jash. Mansi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Nikita.
Yes, ma'am.
Manthan.
Present, ma'am.
Smith Kumar. Devansh.
Present, ma'am.
Ala. Yashang.
Yes, ma'am.
Dipin.
Yes, ma'am.
Tushar.
Present, ma'am.
Yash.
Present.
Maniyar.
Present, ma'am.
Arman.
Present, ma'am.
Udairaj. Richard is there. Vanchi.
Present, ma'am.
Janvi. Ayush.
Present, ma'am.
Anushali. Harshvardhan. Vijayaraj. Adania.
Present, ma'am.
Bharti.
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Avinash.
Present, ma'am.
Limbani.
Present, ma'am.
Arjan.
Yes, ma'am.
Maharana. Tanmayraj.
Yes, ma'am.
Dinesh Prasad.
Present, ma'am.
Anjumani. Sushil Prasad, Dhruvi,
Yes, ma'am.
Netik, Karmik, Mohammad, Kunal,
Present, ma'am.
Niti, Arpit,
Present, ma'am.
Meghna,
Yes, ma'am.
Yash,
Present.
Navdeep, Divya,
Yes, ma'am.
Stephanie,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, Samir Alam, Isha,
Present, ma'am.
Vibhusha, Om Parik, Aditya,
Present, ma'am.
Viplani, Aditya Jain,
Present,
Vedakan, Priyank,
Present, ma'am.
Tushar,
Ma'am, Hitesh present.
Viplani is there. Tushar, Nikita, Girish, Pathik,
Yes, ma'am.
enrollment number 62, He is present, 61, 59, 63,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, 60,
60. I'm 60, ma'am.
yes, 63, Ima is present, 65,
Present, ma'am.
yes,
Ma'am,
73,
58 present, ma'am. Ma'am, network lost था.
uh, yes, 73,
Madam,
Mohammed is
AI3 present.
AI,
Hello, madam. AI64 present, madam. Pema.
yes, Pima, just please let me finish and then you can tell me, no, let me know. Darshan,
Yes, ma'am.
Devi, Niti is there, Vaishali, Vasu, Kunal,
Present, ma'am.
yes, Paliwad, yes, who is present? Pala, you are there, no?
Yes, madam.
Yes. Yes, I have marked your presence. Yes, you all can leave the session. Pin 1.